About a year before COVID hit, I was working at a company, living the good life. I was earning around 12,000 SAR a month. Things were smooth. I'm an orphan. Lost my parents when I was young. My uncle, bless his soul, raised me until I grew up, but he passed away too, and his kids moved elsewhere. So, I was on my own, worked hard, got a job, saved up, bought a car, and decided it was time to settle down. I found a girl from a good family, got engaged, and man, those first 3 months with her were pure bliss. But then, boom, the company I worked for went bankrupt. They fired everyone, including me. Just like that, I was jobless, back home with only a small amount left in my bank account. My wife and I started dipping into it. But here's the kicker. After 3 months, I found out my wife was a gold digger. She was obsessed with money, draining me dry, even stealing cash from me without me noticing. When COVID hit and the lockdown started, things got worse. I was broke, and my wife, she saw the situation, packed her bags, went back to her family, and sent me a text saying, "Divorce me. You're broke, jobless, and I'm done with you. Don't ever contact me again." I was devastated, rummaging through the house, hoping to find a few reals. Miraculously, I found 200 SAR stashed away somewhere. I thought, thank God, this'll buy me some groceries for a week or two. But while I was searching, I stumbled across something in the bedroom, a box of birth control pills. I looked them up on Google and realized my wife had been taking them in secret. She didn't want kids with me. That snake. I was furious, but also relieved she was gone. A wife who doesn't stand by you in tough times isn't worth keeping. I tried calling her, begging her to come back, but she was adamant. She admitted to taking the pills because she knew our marriage was doomed and wanted out. Her family backed her up, telling me to divorce her. So I did. Those were dark days, guys. I was eating 1 meal a day, stuck at home during the lockdown, desperate for cash. I drive around, hoping to find any odd job, anything to survive. Then, one day, God sent me a miracle. During the lockdown, I got permission to go to the supermarket and ran into an old high school buddy named Sultan. Turns out, he was a big shot of the Ministry of Interior. I poured my heart out to him, and he was like, "Abdul Hadi, don't worry. You got a car, right? This lockdown is your golden ticket. No delivery services, no taxis, nothing. I'll get you a special permit from the ministry to work 24/7 during the lockdown. No one will stop you." Sultan came through. 2 days later, I got an email with the permit signed and sealed. It was like a golden key. I could drive anywhere, anytime. I started delivering food, goods, whatever people needed. Some days, I was making 500 to 600 SAR a day. It was unreal. Like they say, one man's loss is another man's gain. After my ex-wife, bad luck personified, left, things started looking up. One night, while driving around looking for delivery gigs, I noticed an old house in my neighborhood. The door was open, which was odd because it was always locked and no one ever saw the owners. Standing, there was a stunning woman, maybe 26, looking like a beauty queen. The street was empty, so I approached her and asked if she needed help. She said, "I've got 4 kids and we're struggling. We haven't eaten in a day because of the lockdown." Her husband had passed away years ago, and they were barely scraping by. I promised to help, went to the supermarket, and bought enough rice, sugar, and snacks to last them 6 months. The store had crazy discounts, so I loaded up. When I dropped off the groceries, she was so grateful, praying for my success. As I left, I couldn't help but notice how beautiful she was. I figured she must have married young, maybe at 16 or 17, and now she was a widow raising her kids alone. Life's tough, man. Later that night, I drove to a pickup spot in Riyadh where taxis usually gather to take passengers to other cities. It was deserted because of the lockdown, but I spotted 5 guys with bags. They wanted to go to Taif, 1,000 kilometers away. I was shocked they had a permit to travel, but they did, and so did I. They offered 500 SAR each, totaling 2,500 SAR, plus extra for another job in Taif. I'd never done a long trip like that, but I said yes. We hit the road, and the guys were super chill. My permit got us through checkpoints without a hitch. The roads were empty, and it felt like a dream. About 500 kilometers in, we hit a checkpoint with just 1 soldier. He stopped us, checked my permit, and asked about the passengers. I pointed to the 5 guys, one in the front, 4 in the back. He told me to pull over and wait. I got out, and the soldier went to check their IDs. When he came back, he was acting weird, telling me to talk to the officer inside. I went in nervous and met the officer, Abu Abdulaziz. I showed him my documents, and he started mentioning names of my relatives, which made me relax, thinking he knew my family. He cleared me, saying, "You're good, Abdul Hadi. Safe travels." But as I left, I noticed the soldier who stopped us staring at me like he'd seen a ghost. Back in the car, the passengers were fine, saying the soldier just checked their IDs. We continued, stopped at a gas station 200 kilometers later, and while I was there, a guy approached me, desperate for a ride to TAFE. He said he'd been stranded for 8 hours after his bus left him behind. I told him I'd take him for free since I was already going, but my car was full, one guy in the front, four in the back. He looked at my car and freaked out, saying, "Your car's empty? Are you crazy? Are you high?" He refused to ride with me, thinking I was nuts or on drugs. I was confused. I got back in the car, and the 5 guys were still there. I asked them what was going on, and they told me to drive. Then they dropped a bombshell. "Abdul Hadi, we know your name because we heard you talking to the soldier. And yeah, that guy couldn't see us because we're Jinn. We're on a special mission for you." My heart raced. Jinn? They assured me they wouldn't harm me, explaining that not all Jinn are evil. Some are Muslim, kind, and live among humans, blending in. They said they were there to help me because of the good deed I did for the woman in my neighborhood. They told me to take a detour to a place called Dome, then to an old Hijaz road. I was terrified but followed their instructions. We reached a strange mountain, and they asked me to get out. A Jinn named Jabardi greeted us, welcoming me like he knew me. They revealed that the woman I helped was one of their kind, married to a human named Abu Uthman, who had passed away. My kindness to her earned me a reward. They took me inside the mountain, which was like a luxury hotel, and gave me a bag full of gold as a gift. They said the 5 Jinn's mission was done, and I could return to Riyadh. Before I left, Jabardi suggested I marry the woman from my neighborhood, promising more blessings if I took care of her and her kids. I agreed, still in shock. On my way back, I passed the same checkpoint. The soldier, Salah, was stunned, saying my car was empty when he checked it earlier. He thought I was high or crazy. I played along, saying I was just joking, and he let me go, mentioning that the officer, Abu Abdulaziz, knew my family and vouched for me. Back in Riyadh, I went to the woman's house, told her my story, and proposed. She agreed, and the next day, I met her uncle. Guess who? Abu Abdulaziz, the officer from the checkpoint. He was a Jinn too, living among humans as a police officer. He explained that Jinn live among us, often unnoticed, in quiet, secluded lives. He blessed our marriage, saying his niece was special and deserved care. We got married, and her old house, which looked run down from the outside, was like a palace inside. Her kids, half human, half Jinn, grew up with me. I sold the gold, invested in land and business, and my life became better than ever, all because of one act of kindness during the lockdown. As for my ex-wife, she kept marrying and divorcing, chasing money. Her family grew to hate her selfishness. The moral? Be kind, help others, and God will reward you in ways you can't imagine, through humans or even Jinn. Anyone need a ride? Just don't ask me to deal with Jinn again.